Master Reddit, subscribe for more videos.
What item is very useful in a zombie apocalypse, but most people don't think about using it? Boats. I know some of them have people on big yachts in the ocean, but really a small boat on a lake would be safe from zombies. Even a canoe you could anchor in the middle of a lake and sleep in. Something a wee bit larger maybe? Like single bed, tiny bit of storage space, that'd be enough. A friend of a friend of a friend used to have one of these, and with enough food and water, I reckon you could easily live on that thing for a few weeks. Boats are great, but depends on what phase of WWZ you're in. It would be great for the initial phase where zombies are the threat. In the later phases, where humans are the concern, a boat just isn't that great. It's not a defensible position and can't store provisions long term. You are better off with a physical structure then. Edit, damn, really riled up the subreddit with this comment, lol. You could use a boat to transport you to a relatively unpopulated island where zombies are at a minimum, and you could build a defensible structure. A good water filtration device like a Life Straw or Sawyer Mini. One of them can often filter thousands of gallons of water without a hiccup. You can only go a few short days without clean drinking water, so it's pretty likely that you die of dehydration before a zombie actually kills you. Just because there are zombies, doesn't mean cholera disappears. Most natural disasters kill relatively few people, it's the cholera outbreak that really pumps up the death toll. A book on local edible plants and mushrooms. Edit, this comment got way too much attention. Also, yeah, many plants can be misidentified, however, 90% of people couldn't survive off foraging anyway, and if the book gives slightly more chance, wonderful. A bicycle and a slingshot. The bike allows you to cover more ground than on foot and more quietly than anything with an engine. They don't need fuel beyond calories, and maintenance is simple. With a little practice, the slingshot can take out small game, squirrels, birds, maybe rabbits if you're good enough. It makes very little noise. And you can pick up ammunition, small stones, ball bearings, nuts/bolts, etc., from basically anywhere. You can also use the bicycle handlebars as a massive slingshot to kill zombies. You just need to attach one of those exercise resistance bands to it and fire away. A small toolkit. Few screwdrivers and a hand drill, and you can quietly pull apart or mend most things. Also olive oil for both cooking and for leaving a nice slippery patch for any of the undead to fall about on. Ah yes, how to avoid zombies with Gordon Ramsay. First, a touch of olive oil. Just a touch. Shovels. Can be used as digging traps, for gardening, as a weapon, and burying bodies. Can confirm. In the army we used to have these little shovels that were sharp as fuck and had a normal edge on one side and a saw-like edge on the other. It could also easily be used as a weapon since it was pretty damn pointy. Really cool thing and very useful. Wire cutters. Because lots of media operate under the belief that a chain-link fence is a non-trivial barrier. I mean, you can just climb over it. I did it plenty of times in my crazier years. It's faster than cutting the wire and it leaves the fence secure. Now, if there's razor wire on top, wire cutters would definitely be useful. ETA, I think this has become my most popular comment, and I have no idea how. I live on the 11th floor. I think I would just take off the staircase railings, and pour some sunflower oil over the stairs. Also, a bit irrelevant, but I think a lot of zombies would be walking with their trousers on their ankles. Surely a zombie isn't smart enough to pull their pants up. Yes, they'd dry out and skinny. All of the fat people would lose their clothes. There would be a ton of zombie dick and zombie boob people walking around. Edit, you're weird, Reddit. I always thought it was stupid that no zombie movies had naked zombie people. That and the fact that the survivors seemingly never take a piss or shit. There would be a ton of zombie dick and zombie boob people walking around. Go on. I like where this is headed. Throw a carpet or coat over the barbed wire. Might still get some pricks, but you won't get tangled, which is what they are designed to do. If it's barbed wire, most anything would work. If it's razor wire, you're definitely going to need something thick and heavy. That stuff is no joke. A tank. Preferably a British one, as they have integrated kettles. Motorcycle gear. Motorcycle pants, jackets, and gloves are designed to prevent road rash injuries and are really tough. Wearing them, especially if you also use the helmet, makes you immune to bites. Cat or dog food. It's completely safe to eat, and usually this wouldn't even be on anyone's zombie apocalypse shopping spree list. So while everyone is killing each other over pizza rolls, sub sandwiches, and brains, Here you are with your delicious premium chicken-flavored cat food. I'm in the apocalypse, and everybody fought each other over toilet paper. Ooze jump in on the trend and get infected. Worst case scenario, you get gunned down. Best case scenario, they find a cure and you don't remember about the horrors that took place around you. Cloth. You can patch yourself up if you don't have bandages, make Molotov cocktails, clean yourself with it and other stuff. Edit, by cloth, I mean towels, clothes and any kind of fabric. A crowbar works as a tool in its own right for opening doors and for levering things open and is also an effective melee weapon. Rise and shine, Dr. Freeman, rise and shine. Edit, thank you for the silver, kind award giver. Tie a rope with any object like a simple padlock. Now you have a meteor hammer or just swing it like a basic flail. A Swiss Army knife, or multi-tool. Everyone always goes for the shotgun or baseball bat approach, or some of these fine people here mention great ideas like spices or a suit of armor. I'm telling you, as an engineer, there's gonna come a point in the apocalypse where you need a multi-tool. You just will. Yeep. Especially if you have to run/travel often, find campground, find food, and create weapons. I would imagine pairing with a blade sharpener/flint, or something to lengthen the life of the multi-tool, would come in handy, but I'm usually not creative enough to survive zombies lol. Armor as in small metal plates or strong leather, like a thin layer of aluminum or strong leather would do the trick against bites, added to normal clothing kinda like steel toe shoes. You never really see someone actually try to build/use any kind of armor against zombies in movies/games. Even a metal armor on the lower part of your arm would make it possible that you can block bites with your metal arm. In Walking Dead Season 3, the governor's assistant wrapped duct tape around his arms to armor against zombie bites. It was effective too. Made me wonder why the rest of the governor's men weren't doing it. Using a human-sized hamster ball. Think about it, you'd be safe from getting bitten as you roll around in your personal protective bubble. That is the most genius thing ever. Maybe add little spikes, little enough so they won't get stuck in something, but big enough to do some damage when rolling over a zombie. Rip when you roll down a mountain by accident ammo. A journal can keep track of your supplies and other stuff. Edit also can draw boobs to jerk it off to. Improvise. Adapt. Overcome. Medieval armor. I would like to see zombie trying to bite through that. I would actually love to see a zombie film set somewhere in Europe where the survivors decide to take over a medieval/Renaissance castle, either ruined or well maintained and turned into a museum, and relearn siege tactics and train with armor and stuff to deal with the zombies' overwhelming numbers. Don't forget the drugs. Adderall to stay awake for days without feeling hungry. Xanax to sleep when and where you want. And antibiotics. Spears. Everyone imagines using a gun or a sword, but in reality spears are the best weapon to use. They're easy to make, relatively easy to use compared to other weapons, require less rare materials than other weapons, and most importantly can keep zombies at a distance and minimize your chances of being bitten. Also, with some practice you can learn to throw a spear to hunt game. Spears may not be the most flashy weapons, but they are the most useful. The power of decomposers like mushrooms or a pet vulture. If you had a pet vulture, you wouldn't have to do much other than give it water and keep it healthy. The vulture is hungry? Just let it fly around for a bit. Best case scenario, it eats a couple of zombies by where you're staying. Worst case scenario, birds can get infected, and now you have a zombie vulture on your hands. Throwing mushroom spores on a horde of zombies could be a good idea too. You probably don't suffer any risk yourself of getting a fungal infection, but since zombies have no immune system and are rotting, mushrooms could thrive on a group of zombies. Throwing spores on zombies wouldn't save you immediately, but it may be a good idea in the long run. Best case scenario, the zombies have an outbreak of their own and millions of zombies are decomposing faster due to being covered in fungus. Worst case scenario, you ducked up and now you have The Last of Us. An attic. I don't know why survivors don't just hide in the attic. Zombies aren't going to recognize that small square in the ceiling that you used to access it, and if they did, they wouldn't be able to reach it without a ladder. The ladder is in the attic with you, out of their reach. Maybe I'm missing something though, it sounds almost too simple. In the Walking Dead game, at some part in it your group can go into the attic of a random house and when you go up would find the carcass of a young boy starved to death while hiding. I don't see a lot of people in zombie movies using .22 caliber weapons. They're tiny, but a .22 rifle easily has enough power to penetrate a skull in the right spots, and a high probability that bullet will not exit the skull, meaning it will ricochet around in there and do massive damage. The ammo is available everywhere, and you could easily put 200 rounds in your pocket without any trouble. Also, it can be used to hunt small/medium animals. You can kill a deer with a .22 if your shot placement is right. They're small, lightweight and easy to come by, and even a small child could operate a .22 effectively. You can even get a .22 pistol and have shared ammunition between your rifle and sidearm, which adds another layer of simplicity to the equation. I never understood why people didn't just get somewhere up high with only one door and no windows facing the hallway. So, for my very useful item, I choose a hotel room key. Because eventually you are going to have to come down from that place for food, and when you go back, if anything follows you, you have no way out. I'd have to say seeds, or like any form of crops. Farming seems surprisingly difficult to do, and I don't see a lot of the movies really trying it when it comes to survival. Maybe I'm just an idiot too. My zombie apocalypse plan is to run to an allotment. Most people would run to supermarkets and closed-in buildings, but open allotments are basically starter packs for survival. Tools hidden in sheds can slice off heads. There are things that collect rainwater, food for days, and also open spaces make it easier to see incoming threat. Planting new seeds takes time, attention and care, but a 3-year-old productive allotment patch just needs some rotation, a bit of rebatching and way less maintenance. Edit, to add that most UK allotments have ridiculously strong fences and high boundaries to keep thieves out. It's well documented that zombies cannot climb. Chainmail. The types they use for sharks would be awesome. If a shark can't get through, then a zombie has no chance. Chainmail is heavy. In a way, plate armor is not, because the weight is somewhat distributed across the straps. Chain is legit just a layer of liquid metal sitting mostly around your shoulder, chest and upper back, and pulling you to the ground. Even worse if you go for long sleeve mail, now your arms want to stay permanently down at your sides. Also requires a shit ton of upkeep or it will fall apart. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button and comment below letting me know. It helps the channel and lets me create more content just like this. If you do like this type of content, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload.